Look at that. We both got our coffee mugs this time. I forgot mine last time.
Let's go.
Wait, we got to do it this way, right? Right.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Hi,
We were off. That's good enough.
It's fine.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to an incredible episode of Bandwidth and Banter. And I say incredible because we have an incredible guest on today. Of course, as usual, I'm jumping ahead of myself because
it's okay. We're excited.
Last week was amazing too, right? We had our second monthly returning guest on, our very own Wookiees and Cookies. It was such a treat to have the Wookiee monster on. I see you shaking your head. Why are you shaking your head, Druid? Come on now.
Because he is still picking on me about the lobster roll being whatever he thought it was. And I don't want to, we're not going to dive into that today. But yeah, he's
a pill, but we love him dearly. So, and today we have someone on who I adore. I think she's an incredibly talented artist and streamer, and she's got the perfect voice for Twitch or radio or anything she wants to do with her voice, because it's got me enthralled and enchanted. And her content is second to none. It's hilarious and fun and vibrant. I promise you guys, you got to check out this amazing, wonderfully warm streamer. Her name, I'm honored to announce, is Rhubarb. So I'm going to have her on right now. My goodness. Thank you so much for joining us, Rhubarb.
Hello. Am I here? I am here. Hi.
You are
hi,
here.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Are you kidding? It's an honor for us to have you. I really appreciate you joining us today.
Yeah.
Heck.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just saying heck, like oh.
Oh heck.
Oh heck.
So for folks out there, Rhubarb is a PNGer slash VTuber. And as you can see, that's what she's using today. And it's animated and so adorable.
I love it.
And she's
so
also
much.
an artist.
Obsessed.
And so at least that's the stuff that I wanted to share. But Rhubarb, please tell us, reintroduce yourself and tell the folks about you and your stream.
Sure. I'll just pretend it's like our raid. Hi, I'm Rhubarb. I'm a variety streamer. I like streaming narrative heavy games and horror games and things in between. Sometimes I do art. Occasionally I crochet. I don't know. It's just a new thing, but it's been fun.
Yep.
I
love it.
That's me, really. I'm just a creature.
Just a creature.
Just a little guy. Marginalia. A specimen.
Just an adorable little creature.
Specimen.
So
gorgeous
cute.
one.
So I have to share that your little creature is just amazing to me. It looks, obviously it's a snail, but it's also not, and it reminds me of some D&D creatures,
right?
that are like hybrids of different kinds of other creatures.
Yeah, it makes me so happy. I found it when I was playing Pentiment, actually, because there's a lot of like little marginalia guys in the borders of the game. And I was like, I'm always changing my PNG to have a bunch of them, but this is the canon character design kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I found a manuscript page that had this little man's, and my wife has another cat that's like licking its butt that's also in the same page, so we both match. So that's it. That's where it came from, really. I stole it from a monk from like the 1400s, and I hope that they don't mind that I have embodied their creature.
I'm sure they're thankful that their art's being passed down and remembered.
I hope so. I think about that sometimes.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, intellectual property laws, I think they run out at 70 years, I think. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's longer than that.
Right. So it's a little bit, it's over, I think,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think you're safe. Plus,
Yeah, I think so.
I'm pretty sure all of them are long gone, too.
Hopefully, unless there's immortals around us.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. There might be some folks creeping around.
True. We won't know.
Well, today we're super stoked and excited to get to know you a bit better. And so if you don't mind, we're going to jump right into the question.
Of course.
All right. So, I know you've seen some of our episodes before, so you know what's coming. The first question is one of our favorites. Please share a boring fact about yourself.
I was thinking about this last night, and I was like, I know the I haven't broken a bone thing happens, but I think my boring fact is when I was a kid, I had to have all my milk teeth removed in an emergency.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I don't know if you want like the story behind that.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah.
In Ruba clan tradition, most of us have had what my mom calls fondly a tooth salad or teeth salad, technically. So what ended up happening is that my milk teeth were just hanging out and they were not falling out. Like I had a few that just like fell off naturally, but like they just weren't moving, right?
Yep.
Milk teeth, baby teeth? Oh, am I saying it wrong? Sorry. Is it baby teeth? That's
baby teeth, milk teeth, same thing.
Gotcha. Okay. But what ended up happening is that my adult teeth were coming through above my milk teeth. Like you could see like full row. I was basically like a shark, right? I had the adult teeth coming in behind and above and like in front of like the other milk teeth that were not going anywhere. So, but nobody was worried because that happens.
Yeah.
So, so they just like took me to the dentist.
Yep.
And the dentist was like, And then she, puts me in the little x-ray machine and then sees the thing and she's like, And then she walks over to my mom and she's like, okay, so here's the thing. If you don't remove your kid's milk teeth now, she's not going to have any adult teeth left because apparently my troglodyte ass milk teeth were so thick in the root that instead of the adult teeth eating the roots and like basically having them fall off, it was like the opposite. Like the milk teeth roots were like eating the adult teeth.
Oh, wow.
So we scheduled teeth removal sessions and we did like multiple at a time for a specific amount of time. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
Because, obviously they were like, well, you need to be able to eat food, like chew stuff, right? So it was like scheduled in a way that I was still able to like chew.
Yeah.
But they removed them all. Like, it's so funny. Like, I have so many memories of just like, oh, yep, it's removal time. And I would just go to the dentist and they would just give me a little container. Here's your 4 teeth this time. And then, next month or whatever, they'd be like, okay, time for the next ones.
Let's go.
That's my boring fact. I have had to have all my teeth removed. I did not have the childhood experience of like having my teeth fall off when you eat an apple or something. It's
Amazing.
Interesting. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you for indulging me with my.
I love it. I love it. How did you pick your Twitch name and what was the inspiration?
Oh, so when I was in college, I used to go by Rue, like ROU. And that's when my account is from. I've had this Twitch account for a long time. And I thought it would be really funny if it was like a pun, but not a pun. It's like, it's not really a pun. It's just, it was like, it kind of sounds like rhubarb if you spell it stupidly. So I did. And never did I ever imagine that I would be actually using rhubarb as a handle later, like a decade later in my life. But here we are.
I feel that so deeply. Because I picked my Twitch name to play a joke on a friend of mine before I was a streamer.
Yep.
And I never expected it. Never expected to stay Druid IRL, but here I am.
You've been christened by the Apollo god of irony.
Yep.
And now you started saying something ironically, and now it's stuck in your vocabulary forever. Congratulations.
Forever and ever, just like yeet. Yeet did that to me too.
Yeet. Oh my god, yeah. That's another one. I do that all the time. I'm like, haha, kids these days saying the Lulu. And then I catch myself saying Delulu in a real ass conversation, and I'm like, fuck.
God damn.
I know,
actually
right?
Here I am.
I almost introduced myself, and I was like really eepy at my old workplace. I was
Yep.
walking up to the elevator, and a lady walks up next to me, and she's like, "Oh, you're the new like page upstairs," and I was like, "Yeah." And then she's like, "My name is so and so," and I was like, "My name's," and like my brain had like a millisecond self conversation where I was like gonna say rhubarb, but then I said also to myself, "You don't have to be so formal. You can just say rube," and I was like, "Shut the fuck up. That's not your name." I literally almost into. Oh my god, I was so embarrassed, but like this happened in like a millisecond.
Uh-huh.
So nobody saw anything except for my own self shame.
Yep. Oh man.
Sometimes that's the most shameful kind is the one that no one else
Right.
ever sees.
Yeah.
Oh man. That's so funny.
So this next question is one of our favorites. We obviously have it for every person. And obviously, for some folks, they haven't ever played this particular game, but I think most folks on Twitch at least know of it. And so, if you need help with this one, we're glad to. But the question is, what Dungeons and Dragons character class do you consider yourself to be in real life?
Ooh. If things were cool, I think I would be a warlock. But at some point during stream, we were talking about the same thing, and I was like, "What class would you be?" And like, I don't know. And everybody was like, talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody in chat and I did the like 150 question thing. I don't know if you've ever seen like the official like super long quiz.
No.
Allegedly, according to this quiz, I'm a true neutral rogue, which tracks because I am a comrade. And I thought that was really funny. But if I was cool, I'd be a wizard. Or not a wizard, sorry, a warlock.
I love that.
I like
And
it.
I need to know this
I think
quiz.
you're pretty cool. I don't see why Warlock doesn't suit you. I can
I would
see
have to be a
her.
cool patron though.
Yeah,
You could do a path to the Fae.
your patron would probably be like the fairy queen or something. You know, the Fae.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Accept me, fairy queen.
Yeah, please.
As an artist, can you share any life experiences that influenced your art style
Life
that you're
experiences.
comfortable sharing?
Yep.
Interesting. Well, I mean, I feel like a lot of the art these days that happens is actually semi-autobiographical, but not in a way that people can tell.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense, right? It all draws from like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I've had this conversation with folks before, but I'm sure everybody that does art realizes that they draw their art from specific emotions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like I've always admired people that draw their art from joy, and that's what inspires them to create.
Yeah.
But I am definitely a grief and melancholy person. So that's kind of like the fuel for my art, at least.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing I would really honestly share
That's okay.
in an interview, but
That
if
is
you're
okay.
curious, you can probably see it once you know. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I get it. We totally understand. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because my husband's an artist. He's an abstract artist, and it's definitely one of those like emotional journeys, and it's wild to watch. As somebody, because I don't paint myself as an artist, right? I love the creativity of expression that artists can put out. So
yeah, totally.
He does that. He's very.
Oh, those are his. Those are so cool. I was looking at those.
Oh yeah,
hell
yeah.
yeah.
I like to brag.
I'm a huge fan of his art too. I actually own 2 of his pieces. One, when you watch my solo stream upstairs, is on the wall behind me, and then I have another piece that's right over there that The other one I bought from him because I liked it so much. And this one, he was very generous to donate to Star Kitty as a gift.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. So,
yeah, we may or may not have made Star Kitty cry on stream.
Yep,
Good.
You did. I see what you're talking about your art. I can see the full range of emotions. Your art kind of reminds me of a sunrise or a sunset that's just full of color and vibrancy and texture, but there's also that kind of, that soft subtleness to it where there's an underlying, oh, hey, there's space out there beyond it,
Oh, thank you. That's very kind.
Yeah. So
I love artists.
I know,
I'm
me
a big
too.
fan.
I mean, I growing up, I was an artist, but it wasn't something that I continued to pursue.
Gotcha.
So I understand the process. My art now is more like when I'm a DM. That's how I express my art.
That's creative work for sure. Holy shit. Yes.
So on the topic of art, please tell us about your PNG avatar. What was the inspiration for it? And does it have a backstory? Does it have? I know it's you, but does it have its own kind of separate name? Is it?
It doesn't. No.
Okay.
Well, here, if you're curious, I think I have a few. This is the biblically accurate Ruba.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
This one I actually made it, and then I barely used it because as soon as I made it, I found the creature, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's me also. I love not having a shape or an identity. So whenever I feel like changing it, I can just change it.
I love it so much.
And there's a
Love
sleepy
that so
version
much.
too. But there's also like some silly ones too. Like this is what I say, it's a face reveal for me. This is
right.
the real Ruba in the room.
I love it so
There's
much.
a pop cat that's also me.
Yep.
This is the one I use when I play games with my family, and it's from a Piku actually. And we all have different like versions of those in the style, and it's really cute. That's the only time I'm human. And then this is the Garf. That's the emo.
Oh.
Anyway, there's a whole bunch of them. I don't really subscribe to having an identity at the moment. I'm happy floating about, and none of them have names except for Rhubarb.
I love that.
Me too.
I fully support it with my entire soul.
We're just creaturing.
I love it. It makes me
it's
so
definitely
happy.
just for some reason you're right. This one suits you the most in some way. Like
I don't know what it is. I'm like, oh yeah, that's me.
It just
I love
seems
it.
so.
And you also have the one where you're like turning a book too, right?
Yeah, there's hold on. This one.
Look
We're
at
just
some
like
again.
talking here, and
so
we
cool.
read in here, and there's some cursed ones. Some are more cursed than others. This one was a gift from a dear friend.
Oh wow!
Who was like, "Hey, what kind of snail do you like the most?" And I was like, "Oh, volcano snails are dope." And
Is that face the one you use for your Discord?
It is, yeah. It sparks joy. It makes me really happy. So
it's awesome.
Yes.
I'm gonna literally die because I need to remember to breathe.
Please don't die.
I love those things so much.
The cozy bot, I think that's the only one I do because it's like unfinished. This one. This was like the first one I made ever, I think. And it used to be like more animated.
From Stray.
Yeah, it is from Stray.
That's so cool.
But that's before I used the PNG tube video tube thingy program, which auto animates a few features, and so the animation that I had made for it, like it was saved as a GIF. And it was like basically blinking nonstop, and I was like, I can't really use this one. And it was too green, so I had to edit the color out to use it on the green screen. So I ended up not really using it that much anymore after I switched to that.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's the cozy robots.
Wow. That's phenomenal.
I am living my best life right now. You have no idea. Do you have a favorite tattoo?
Oh, I do. Yeah. I have a few actually that are like, this is a nice one. I have a half sleeve on my arm that's a cosmic whale in space, and it has a bunch of like celestial bodies and some like black tourmaline crystals and junk. It's super cool. I did it
love
all in
that.
one sitting because I'm insane. But the artist, it's a Pony Reinhardt tattoo. So if you know her, she does a lot of Death and Decay animal work, right, in like woodcut style.
Ooh.
Right.
And I always wanted to get a tattoo from her. She was in Portland. I think she's back in Portland now. But
Okay.
the way that she does her tattoos is she like schedules it 6 months or like 3 months or something like that. And you basically write a proposal with your budget and what you want tattooed, and she gets a bunch of them, and then from this pile she chooses the coolest ones that she would like to do, right?
Yeah.
And I had been trying to like apply for one, and I got in at some point, and she was like, okay, yeah, I'm doing this one. And I was like, yo, what? Finally?
Let's go.
And I got it literally, I was the last session before she moved to New York, which I wouldn't have been able to go see her if that was the case. So I'm really thankful that it happened. It was super cool. I had to sit there for like 6 hours, and that was very loopy afterwards.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
So-
yeah.
I know you can't show it today, but on your streams, do you ever show that particular tattoo? Is it possible?
Yeah, there's a clip of me showing it. I can maybe, I don't know if you want, I can look for it. Hold on. If that's something
Oh, no,
that
don't
you
worry about
want
it
to
right
see.
now.
Okay,
I just
okay.
actually want to use this as an opportunity for folks to, once we're done today, go check on her links and ask her to show you that tattoo. Because
Absolutely. There we go.
Yes.
Follow Rhubarb. Go check out that tattoo.
So, oh yeah, I love this question. This is where we get into a little bit deeper into you and your journey here on Twitch.
Okay.
What drew you to Twitch?
Oh, I had been like passively on the background on Twitch for a while, like not really participating in like community, but like, I had this account, and there was like a few people that I watched, and there was one person that I've been subbed to the entire time that I've been on Twitch, and they're very kind and I love them.
Yeah.
But other than that, I didn't really have much experience partaking in the community aspect of Twitch, right? And then at some point, my World of Warcraft friends and I were in like at the end of the expansion, and there was a lull in content, and we were bored. And Phasma had just come out, like Phasmophobia. And we all wanted to play, but obviously there's only like 4 people allowed in the team if you've ever played before, right? And I was like, oh, I have a Twitch account. Maybe I can just like stream at you so you can all like participate in it without actually being in the group.
Yeah.
Kind of like low-key as a joke, really. But that's how it started. And then I found that I really liked it.
Yeah.
And like 3 years later, I'm still here.
That sounds just like us.
No, I can't leave.
Yep.
You're stuck here with the rest of us.
Exactly. Yeah.
We have been absorbed by the hive mind of Twitch.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't forget, you're here forever.
Forever and ever.
On that topic, what did family and friends think when you told them you planned on streaming?
Well, I never told them I planned on streaming. I just told them, hey, I'm doing this thing. And they were like, oh, what do you do? And I was like, oh, you go here and you watch. And they were like, okay. And I know that those in the community probably know that I stream with my family all the time.
Yeah.
On Wednesdays, I play Dark Souls games. Souls games with my sister. And we've been going through all of them. And then occasionally I rope my mom into playing games with me too, and she's very cute.
That's adorable.
So they're involved. Yeah, there was a Thanksgiving where we all played Age of Empires 2, and it was really funny. We just did a stream on Thanksgiving because we don't actually celebrate, like, we don't always like celebrate on Thanksgiving because for us, it's not really like part of our thing.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, maybe we can do something for folks that don't have anywhere else to be, and we can just do like a silly little family stream.
It's great.
And it was hilarious because 2 of my siblings are actually RTS gods, and the rest of us are just living our lives.
It's big chillin', just
Right,
hanging out.
right. But yeah, so they didn't say anything. They were just like, cool, and now they're here, and
Yeah.
they hang out all the time.
Oh yeah, I love it. Number 9, Stormy.
Oh, this one's mine. Oh.
Yeah, you took my question.
Oops. My bad.
Oops.
I sure did, didn't I?
You sure did?
Well, you know what? Then you want to flip flop it now.
Oh no, I cannot change it. I read the highlighted ones.
Okay. Wow, I feel so bad. I'm sorry. I'll make it up to you, Druid. Thank you for. All right,
It's okay.
Rhubarb. What struggles did you deal with when you first started streaming?
Ooh, so many. Tech stuff. Dealing with a camera. I used to stream with a camera before, and I hated it.
Yeah.
Establishing boundaries as a streamer and a lady person also
Mhm.
sucks. Definitely, all those things. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was a big fear for me
Yeah.
as
yeah.
well. So
Yeah.
The camera
So-
was a big one for me, though.
Which
I
one?
always hated it. The camera.
Oh,
Because like I didn't have any like experience, and I was like, oh, streamers have cameras. That's just what they do. And I was like, I guess I need a camera. And like I always hated it. I don't like being perceived. It
mhm.
makes me feel it tires me out, and it makes me like hyper aware of my face. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
It's always been very uncomfy for me. But I was like, well, I gotta do it because that's what people do, and it's
How
fine. Like
interesting.
it's fine. I got
you
used
started
to it,
as a face tuber?
I did, yeah. A lot of my older clips, I've only been doing full-time PNG tube for like maybe a year, maybe less. It's fairly recent.
Wow, that's amazing. I didn't know.
So I started like I cackled at some point because what I started realizing sometimes folks have clip shoutouts, and I don't really curate my clips because I don't know. Don't perceive me. I don't want to look at myself. But like some of the older clips, my face is there, and people were like, "Oh my god, a Ruba face reveal!" And I was like, "What? What do you mean you don't know what I look like? My face is like right." And then I realized that I have, it's like, oh, it's a weirdly comforting thought that people don't know what I look like. And I started doing PNG tubes,
Yeah.
like tentatively, like, oh, sometimes like I don't feel good.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna throw
sure.
up the PNG tube and stuff. I'm like, okay.
Mhm.
But then I realized that I could stream for much longer durations when I wasn't on camera.
Mhm.
Interesting.
And it was so freeing when I finally was like, you know what? It's okay. I used to think that since I play a lot of horror games that people wouldn't want to hang out if the camera wasn't there, because I feel like that's what people are there for. Like, oh, see this scared streamer. But also like, I don't get scared anyway with horror games. I just just here for a laugh, mate. I'm just here to hang out and experience some cheesy stories, right?
Yeah.
And I was really thankful that folks didn't like leave, They're
Yeah.
still like, oh yeah, it's still Rube, obviously, right? And it was
Yeah.
a very nice and humbling experience. So now I have my camera pointing at my desk and we do art instead.
I love that so much, and I
I
fully
do
support
too.
that.
I think that you and Closet Scully have that in common, that both of you started as face tubers and later became VTubers.
Yeah, it's sometimes called a flesh tube,
A flesh tuber,
tubers.
right.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And it's one of those things like people like we come to Twitch to escape meat space.
Yeah, totally.
So like why not live your best life as the most adorable snail?
Yeah.
And if
Absolutely.
people don't support that,
I agree.
Yeah,
that's
not
okay.
everybody's for everybody too. Like if you're somebody
Exactly.
that doesn't vibe with the PNG tube, that's totally valid.
Totally, 100%.
You don't have to stay.
100%. I know
No big
I'm not
deal.
everybody's cup of tea either, and I totally get that. Like I am not offended. Like this is your escapism. Go find where you feel the happiest in your escapism. Like
totally.
fully support.
I agree. Although I will say that if don't let yourself be biased because you might miss out on some incredible content,
Yeah,
like
for sure.
rhubarbs, for example. So
That is true. You need to go watch Rhubarb. I'm a big lurker in Rhubarb streams, especially like
appreciate-
Thursday nights. Like it's my favorite. And I'll say, it's so good. It's
Ditto.
so good.
Watching
I
the
love it.
cooking vids.
Oh,
and
Chef's
I like,
kiss.
for me, sometimes it's a lurk and sometimes it's like an active, like I'm watching and listening because your stream is just wonderful. So
Oh,
anyway,
thanks, friend. Yo, they're so
let's-
kind. What the heck?
yeah, you're welcome. So, Druid, I'll say I know how to make it up to you. You can have the last 2 questions of the interview, so we'll be even. How's that sound?
Yes.
All right.
Perfect. I accept.
So you're next.
What tips can you share with future streamers?
Mm. I feel like, I feel like some folks fall into the trap of thinking that you're streaming for other people because technically, streaming is like a community thing.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I feel like, especially if you're just starting out, it's really important that you, the streamer, feel comfortable with your own space and not try to do things to please other folks or like, I don't know. I always like joke that I'm allergic to people being mad at me, right? But there's nothing you can do about some things, right?
Yeah.
I feel like it's better if you just curate your own space as a space that you would like to be in, and then the folks that would also like to be in that space will show up, and the ones that don't, they won't, and that's okay.
Exactly.
You're not trying to please everybody. You're just having a space that you want to be in, right?
100%.
Absolutely.
I've said before on my channel that I feel like when I'm streaming, I get to practice being the best version of myself.
Yeah.
And, feeling the most comfortable in my skin. And I'm just there to share myself with folks.
Totally.
And I'm with you 100% on that. That's beautiful.
Yeah, I did it with like boundaries too, right? It's the same thing. Like, don't allow people to make you uncomfortable. Like, don't allow things that you wouldn't allow usually just because it's an online open space. Like, you're welcome to ban whoever you want.
That's
You're
right.
welcome to put whatever rules around whatever you want because the space is yours.
Exactly.
And if the folks are good, they will respect those boundaries. And if they're not, they can get bought,
Bye.
So, yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
Bam!
Get bopped.
Nuke them with the band hammer.
Exactly. Press the button.
And that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Have a strong group of mods that know exactly what your expectations are.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I trust the mods implicitly, always.
Oh, 100%.
We
I
love
always say
our
my mods have way more power than me.
Oh, yeah. No, same.
Because they have a better gauge of like how the vibe of chat
Yes.
too.
Yeah.
Indeed.
So shout out to mods.
I know. I have friends that are like, hey, I preemptively banned this person in your chat because I didn't like the way they were speaking. And I'm like, oh, yeah, cool.
Okay.
You're the boss, baby.
Yeah.
Yep.
You tell me. You tell me.
Yeah.
On this same topic, Rhubarb, what do you enjoy most about streaming?
Oh, the people. I love it. I love community. I love meeting new folks. I love sharing stories with folks. I love holding space for people in having a space that I feel privileged that people would want to spend time. Like, time is the most important resource.
Yes.
And the fact that folks want to spend time with me at all is like humbling, and I do not take it for granted. My favorite is being able to meet new folks and like get to know them really.
Yeah.
And then seeing them in the community, and then seeing them in other places that I also frequent, and I'm like, oh my god, you're here too. I love this so much.
Yeah.
We're all friends.
Yes.
It's a blessing.
Yes.
It's so
and it's
good.
So much
It's
fun.
the friends.
All these different little circles coming together is bigger, absorbing and mashing into other bigger circles, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is so good. Oh man.
I have met so many folks through streaming that I wouldn't change for the world.
Agreed.
It's been such a blessing.
I met Stormy on Twitch.
I was gonna ask how you two met. Yeah.
Yep. Rating
so
parties.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I just it's the power of Twitch, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
And your vibe
Never in a
attracts your
million
tribe.
years would I thought
Mhm.
that I would make so many good friends, you know?
Right.
Yes.
I didn't expect it either. Like I've said many
Yeah.
times before, when I started this journey, I was originally just going to do YouTube videos, and I only started doing Twitch to get used to being in front of the camera and to
Right.
figure out how to set up the video and audio and stuff. And I just like got sucked in.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I had no intentions of being a streamer at all.
So none of us wanted to stream, and yet here we are
Here
streaming.
we are.
Interesting.
Yeah.
The pipeline from I don't know about this too. Wow, I love streaming is a straight line, and we're all in it.
Yep.
Yep. Every single one. Every single person. We're all stuck.
Yep.
But together. Okay. So, Rhubarb,
Mm-hmm.
how long have you been playing video games, and what was the first one you ever played?
Ooh, since I was a kid, really, I was literally for Streamiversary, I roped my mom into playing King's Quest 6 with me because that was the first actual game that I remember playing that wasn't like educational. In the ye old compact Windows 98, right? I'm old. And that was like my favorite when I was a kid. So I've been playing games for a little bit. I never had consoles growing up, so I feel like I missed out on a lot of like Nintendo nostalgia things. Like I've never played Legend of Zelda or like any of the classics or anything. Like I just missed out on it because my parents were like, video games rot your brain, but it's okay if it's on the computer because then it's smart. And I was like, whatever. So I've been playing games for a little bit, mostly on the PC though.
I love it. I also didn't.
Yep.
Yeah, I never played Legends of Zelda. I've never gotten into like any of the Super Nintendo stuff or anything either.
Same.
So I'm super late to the game.
Yep.
Yep.
Me too. I was also mostly PCs. Well, not mostly.
Hey.
Like I own a PS3, but it's been sitting there collecting dust. I only bought it because it was a great Blu-ray player when it was brand new.
Oh, so valid. Yeah.
I love this question. What is your favorite thing and least favorite thing that you have streamed?
Ooh. You know, I don't think I've ever like regretted streaming anything. I do a lot of variety stuff and I tend to gravitate towards the weird and the indie, right?
Oh yeah.
I did at one point stream the Callisto Protocol, which if you know, oh man, I was so excited for that game. And then it sucked so bad. Glenn
Which game
Schofield,
again?
answer my emails. Why do you think this is good horror, sir? I just want to talk, dude. Your game is so mid. But I was so mad because I played it. I finished it. I like sat. I was like so determined because I rarely pay like full price for stuff, right? I usually like I don't really go for the AAAs, and I was like, I don't know, like Dead Space is dope. I wanna. I bet this will be cool. Like Glenn Schofield's like a legend, whatever. And I was like, dude, this game would have been dope in like 2009. Like, and it was so disappointing, and everybody around me was also like disappointed, and we were all just like playing it out of spite, basically. And it sucks too because I don't like flaming games. Like games are works of art, regardless of how you look at them, and I hate bashing other people's hard work, right? Regardless of how it turned out, it's not the vibe, and I don't like. Yeah. I just don't like doing it. Yeah. So I was like, the whole time I was playing, I was like, this could have been saved if the story was good, if the characters were good. Like the only thing that it had going on was like the art direction was like, okay. It was, it was a very, it was good, but it wasn't scary at all. Like it was zero horror, and it was tedious, and I was
Which
so
game was
sad.
this again?
The Callisto Protocol. It's by the guy that did Dead Space, right?
Yeah.
And then he was like, I'm going to make my own Dead Space. And I feel like there was a weird amount of ego that was very palpable in that game, in the end product. That felt a lot like, well, I'm Glenn Schofield. I can do whatever I want. My game's going to be the scariest game of all time. And it's like, have you played a video game in the past like decade, dude? Because yikes.
Yikes.
Anyway,
Oh
that was
no.
the only one that I've been like, damn, this one kind of sucked actually. But I did finish it. I sat down and I finished it.
Right on.
But you know, it is what it is.
Good for you, because if I had that visceral reaction, I would have been like, that game didn't exist. I don't know what you're talking about, and would have moved on.
Yeah. But that's the thing though, is that it wasn't even like the game was bad. That's the sad thing is that it was so mid that it was just forgotten. Like that's probably the worst thing you can end up with as a product,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yep.
What was your favorite thing that you streamed?
My favorite, I would say literally recently streaming King's Quest with my mom. It was so much fun. It was such a blessing. It was so cool to go back and look at a game that I played like 25 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It was great. It was such a good time.
That's beautiful.
I love that.
Yeah, it was good. Lots of nostalgia.
Oh yeah. What is the scariest game that you have streamed, and your favorite horror game?
The scariest. I think I would say Visage, honestly. Out of all of the horror I've streamed, there's a few that have like stood out, been like, this was actually making me uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
Because like I'm not like a very screamy, scared person, but like if you manage to make me uneasy with the ambience alone, I could consider it a success, right?
Yeah.
The Visage was a big one. And then there's a Russian guy that does. It's like a one person death, maybe. I can't remember his name now. Napa, I think. And he does a lot of like weird, surreal, dreamy, like dream logic horror, which is always like super, super strange, and like I find it super effective. So those are those two are I think the scariest ones.
I love it. I don't like scary games by myself. I only like to scary games with friends.
Well, that's why you play with chat, you know? They're holding your hand and you were playing games. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it definitely makes a difference
comfy.
for sure when you play it with people there, for sure.
Agreed.
That's how I made it through Senua's Sacrifice, actually, because that game got me.
Oh yeah.
Ugh. I love that game so much.
What draws you to games like Pentiment and Disco Elysium?
Oh, I just love getting fucked up emotionally on purpose, and I love games that irrevocably changed me forever, and that haunt me in a positive connotation.
Yep.
If I play a game that I'll think about for the rest of my life every week or so, it'd be like, damn. Those are my favorite.
Love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I just like narratives, I think.
I love the complexity of your mind. It's wonderful. I admire that.
Oh, thanks. Heck. Yeah, visceral narratives.
Please share an interesting adventure from your childhood that you would like to share.
I think one of my favorite summers of all time was when my family and I traveled to the south of Chile. So I'm Chilean, and I moved to the States when I was 13. But I spent all of my childhood and some of my adolescence there.
Yeah.
So one of my favorite summers, we traveled to the south, and we spent like I don't know. It was so long ago that the actual time period is a little bit fuzzy, right? But it was a long time. Child me felt like it was like months, right? But I don't think it was actually months. But in one of the adventures that we went to the south of Chile is very it's like a cold rainforest. It's full of like volcanoes and monkey puzzle trees and a lot of lakes. It's gorgeous. There's a lot of pastries there. Really good food.
Yeah.
Volcanic beaches and other things, right? But my favorite part of that summer was we spent a whole bunch of time in my parents' friend's little house. that was so remote. It was at the mouth of a really Rio Bueno. It's like a really, really small river, and the only way to get to this place was in 3 hours of boat travel. So we would bring our stuff, and we would sit on this boat for 3 hours, and we would reach the end of it, where the ocean arrives, basically. And this house was there, and there was no electricity. Like there was nothing in it. It was just, you know, it was just us in this house, and we had like an outside kitchen, and it was like I'm the oldest of the kids in my family, so I feel like I had a lot more experiences growing up with my parents' friends' kids also, which is something my siblings didn't. So I spent a lot of that summer hanging out with my pals from that time in my life, and we would just boat around all day and like go to the different islands around the coast and like eat an entire like roast pig like that we cooked in a spit at night. You know, it was such a good time.
I
think
love that.
I was like, when I was talking to my mom about this earlier, because I have like vague memories of this trip, but like they're all really good, right? And I didn't remember that there was no electricity, and she told me that they had like a tiny little generator that they only turned on for like specific occasions. That was like outside, and that's it. But yeah, that's a nice memory from my childhood.
I love that so much. That's beautiful.
It was good.
I do too.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful.
All right. This question, I have to admit, I made up, but I have to ask it.
We love improvisation.
What adorable little imp devil did you make a deal with to get such a warm and inviting streamer voice?
Oh, it's just the microphone. Don't let it fool you. All the comments I've gotten in real life of my voice is, "Oh my God, where are you from? Oh my God, where's that accent from?" And also, "Speak up, I can't hear you." That's it. I promise you, it's the microphone. I promise.
I don't know.
100% agreed with 1010. Yep.
But thank you, friend. I appreciate it. What microphone do I
guess
use?
this 18 will probably have to switch because I realize there's no way for us to do that. Luckily, we have some extra questions, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to pick one of those that we have down below, Druid, for the next question?
Yep. If you're comfortable sharing, how long have you and your wifey been together, and how did you guys meet?
Oh, this is a really funny story, actually.
I love this. I'm so excited. Okay, hold on. Let me just get comfy.
So we met playing World of Warcraft. For real. And I was at the end of high school. And we just realized that we were like 30 minutes away from each other. And we were friends for a while before she kept asking me if we wanted to like date or whatever. And I was like, Lamau, no. And then she was like, but what if we date though? It was like, yeah, okay. And 15 years later, I think it's gonna be 15 years this April if I'm counting right, because I'm bad at dates. We're still hanging, you know. We're still here.
That's incredibly beautiful. I love it.
So much.
Yeah.
That brings me such joy.
Agreed. Yep.
Yeah, we've been together for a while.
That's fantastic.
My heart just grew 3 times its normal
to
size.
be clear, the question we avoided was, is it possible to show and tell any of your fur babies right now? Obviously, from the tech, we haven't figured out a way to make it happen.
Wouldn't be possible, yeah.
Here's another.
That's why
they love you.
We love the
Here's
fur
another
babies.
excuse for you guys to go check out her content and ask her to show off her fur babies.
Yep, 100%. 100%.
All right, so this is my last question of the main interview, and then the last 2 are Druids, and then we'll open up the floor after that. So, Rhubarb, what is the weirdest sleeping dream you have ever had?
Oh, I have so many weird dreams. So many weird dreams. I don't even know where I would choose from. I've had like entire movie plots happen, and then I wake up and I immediately have to write them down, and then send it to my friend. Like, you're not gonna believe the one I just had. Hold on. And then I have to like screenshot the phone text. It's wild. But I've always had weird dreams. Like when I was a kid, I used to have the people turning into purple spirals and like stretching out into nothingness. Or
Ooh.
I always have recurring anxiety dreams about like zombies or things that are happening. Like it's always like a theme of there's something bad that's happening that I can see.
Mm-hmm.
And I think other people can see too, but nobody's like acknowledging that it's there.
Mm-hmm.
And I just keep getting more and more nervous that nobody's doing anything about it.
Yeah.
Until the dream usually ends with me hiding somewhere and like a wave of zombies happening or like something else happening, right?
Yep.
Wild.
Yep.
But
awesome.
I literally at some point had a dream that felt like, I don't know, it had like plot twists. Like I was literally watching a movie and I was like, what? And then like I feel like me and my wife were there and like some of my friends were there, but like they didn't look like them, but I sort of like understood that they were them in the dream. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
But it was like a weird, like really quickly summarized, it was like a weird camping trip when it felt like the start of like a B horror movie.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And like different people were just like arriving at this camping like session, kind of like I don't know, like a fucking fire festival or something. It was just like
Yeah.
an event, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And then everybody like goes to sleep, and then these like creatures start like dropping from the heavens, and they start like eating people, like multiples of them, right? And then at some point, like my wife and I were hiding in this like this glass building that looks like the Seattle Public Library, if you've ever seen it, but like spherical. It was like the Epcot
Yeah.
sphere, like a
Mhm.
golf ball, but like made out of glass.
Mm-hmm.
And like wife and I and like other folks managed to hide in there from these creatures.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the dream, the sun rises and the night ends, and the creatures become people. And we realize, I dreaming, realize that the people that were the creatures have been part of the group that arrived with us to the camping trip. And we all like hug each other and like shake hands with each other, like the creature people and us, like they're just humans at the point, right?
Uh-huh.
We all like hug and shake hands, and we leave together with the understanding that the next camping trip we are also going to arrive with them and eat the people the next time around. It was so
That's
weird.
amazing.
It was
That is-
wild.
That is one
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
wildest.
I like
That
want to
is
make a game out of
phenomenal.
it. It was such a strange experience. Like I woke up and I was like, dude, my dreams just like plot twisted me.
Incredible.
Oh my good golly gosh, that is amazing. I don't dream, or at least I have zero recollections of my dreams ever. So whenever none.
Whoa.
It's wild. Blank slate.
And
I fall asleep and then I wake up.
And I'm literally the
Dang.
opposite of her. I've been a super dreamer all my life. I have vivid, wild dreams like yourself. And I used to practice lucid dreaming. And I've even practiced different forms of lucid dreaming. There, believe it or not, there's semi-lucid dreaming. There's dreams where what I call reverse lucid, where you've convinced yourself that it's reality when it's actually a dream. And,
that's so cool.
It's funny that we they were the opposite that way, but
yeah. Brains are weird. I don't like. It wouldn't if people can have aphantasia, right? And not have any sort of like visualness to their thoughts. I totally believe that maybe some people are just not wired to dream. It makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I used to dream, and then I hit puberty, and then I no longer remember any of my dreams.
Brain closed that drawer and said, "No,
yeah,
thanks."
The brain was like, "No.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep you from hurting your own feelings a lot."
Yeah. That's so funny.
Okay. If you could be any superhero, which one would you choose and why?
Ooh. Interesting. I'm not super knowledgeable about superheroes, to be honest.
Did you just say shrimpisting? Like,
I shrimply might have for caps. Lamau. Any superhero? I think maybe like a Spider-Verse person would be cool.
Cool.
There was a spider. If you've seen the new Spider-Verse, there was one that has a wheelchair, and I used a wheelchair, and it was like, oh, maybe that's me. So I think if I had to choose, that would be me.
Oh wow!
Yay! I love that.
That's
Hell
amazing.
Yeah. Last and final question. This is one of those. We have to finish off on a food question.
Oh, we gotta.
And then after that, we're gonna open up the chat to Q&A. So if you have any questions for Rhubarb, or for Stormy and I, or for the group, feel free to throw those into chat. We're also are required to hit every single one of those links that we just posted in chat. It's a requirement.
It's a trap. Don't do it.
You must go follow Rhubarb. Because I have officially fallen head over heels.
Aw, thanks, friend.
In love. In love. So do it. Just say it. I'm looking at this question. I'm just like, I forgot. I hope you're not vegan. Chicken or beef?
I hope you're not vegan.
Chicken or beef?
That felt like a Bethesda game role, by the way. Hope you're not vegan. Chicken or beef? I am not vegan. No. I'm gonna say chicken, probably. Yeah.
Right on.
Chicken.
So on that note, just
now,
to
actually
make it a little more interesting, what's your favorite chicken dish? Or a favorite?
There's so many that are happening in my brain right now. Butter chicken probably would be a good one to put in there.
That's a good one.
I know that technically pad thai is not a chicken dish, but you can put chicken in it and it's dope.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, love it.
All right. Now's that time where we open up the floor to the open Q&A. We still actually have some more questions for you. Of course, folks in chat have some too. Before we get to theirs, I honestly have this one. Daddy Dagoth has a question.
So does Chaos
Wow,
Bean.
we're already jumping straight into it. I want to know, this was one that I made up that we decided not to use in the main question thing, but we've kind of pulled it straight from your about section. So,
okay.
Rhubarb, did you have the knife face surgically added to your face, or were you born with it?
Nah, the knife face is a feature of the Rubicon, I'm afraid. You can thank my grandpa for that.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So you find the first one there, Druid, and I will find the second one.
The Chaos Bean, which I love your username, by the way. 10 out of 10. Yeah. What's your favorite meme? Which I love this question.
What? You can't ask me that. I am made of memes. I don't think I have a favorite. Oh no.
She is made of memes. That makes sense.
What is my favorite meme? I'm like, you know, that like joke like name a woman, and you're like, I've forgotten every single meme I've ever seen in my life. Bean, how dare you ask me this question?
How about the first one that comes to mind?
No, it's blank. There's nothing in there. This is the SpongeBob like food service episode with he only remembers his name.
I feel you.
It's me.
I feel you. All right. Well, we'll move on to the next question. And if one comes to mind, you can splash it out there.
Rube, I've made of memes. Also, what's a meme? I've never seen one. Literally, what's so funny is I also can't think of a single meme, and I love quoting memes.
Oh, you know what I just remembered? Have you seen that video of the lady that's like, I'm his little rabbit, his little right hand man? I don't know why it came to my mind. I'm his little rabbit. That's me. That's the meme.
That's good. That's good.
I love it
So
so
Dagoth
much.
asks, Rube, have you acquired any new old lamps lately?
Old lamps for new? I've never seen a lamp in my life, so jot that down. No lamps here.
I'm not sure I understand. Can you elaborate?
There's an NPC in King's Quest that interrupts your thinking all the time and never shuts up and just screams, "Old lambs for new! Old lambs for
okay.
new!" Because
I love it.
he's looking for a genie lamp, so he wants to like trade old lamps for new.
That's glorious. Um, Front Street Fella asks, if you could impart one piece of advice to the whole world, what would it be?
Oh. I guess try to find joy in all things. That is the purpose of life, I think. Just finding joy.
Yeah.
Find joy in everything you can. Make a point of doing it.
It is.
Yep.
It is.
Yep.
Words of wisdom right there.
That's why I collect pine cones, man.
Right?
They bring me joy.
The joy is stored in the pine cones.
The power of the pine cone.
It's why I like to entertain and make people laugh and share optimistic ideas and thoughts and philosophies.
Yeah.
Because, well, like that, that quote that's actually misquoted to Gandhi, but the quote is, "Be the change you most want to see in the world." And so,
yeah. Be the best version of you that you can. Yep.
Exactly. Yeah. HMJ asks, where did your art journey start and what got you invested?
I feel like I've always been drawing as a kid, and my parents were very kindly indulging. My uncle used to be an artist also. So I sort of like grew up with folks that painted and sang songs around me. And it was the thing that brought the most joy as a kid. I just liked doing art so much that I never really stopped.
I love it. I like to crafty things. If I can indulge and share with one of my crafty things. This is my favorite little crafting thing that I have next to me on my desk. She's a little fey creature, and I love her very much, and I am very obsessed with her.
She's so cute.
I love her.
What's she made out of?
So I made this for a competition for work. We were supposed to decorate a pumpkin. And so I was like, this is how I'm going to decorate my pumpkin.
Bet you won.
I got second place only because I showed up late to the party.
Robbed.
It's okay. Well, the one that won, she actually glued like individual like pine cone and decorated it to make like an owl. So I honestly deserved second place.
That's cool too. It looks really cute.
She has a little coffee cup. And I love it very much.
I love all the green and the colors are so warm and inviting. It's so cute.
I love her so much. And it's a little rat skull. It's a little. I collect animal bones and stuff because I'm one of those.
That's so dope.
Yeah, so she's
It's one of my favorite pieces she had. Yep.
Full creature vibes. Hell yeah.
Full creature. So I love creatures very much. So there's my little creature. I just wanted to share that with you.
Thank you for sharing. It's wonderful.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. Next question. Cozy Conchile asks, do you have any tips or advice for new artists who want to get into it?
Ooh, I feel like I would need more context to what getting into it means. Like,
Mhm.
if you're just starting to do art, I would think maybe find what inspires you and collect as much as you can
Mhm.
of the
Mhm.
things that make you feel like you want to make things.
Yeah.
And then don't be afraid to fuck up, because you will.
Right.
It's gonna be
Right.
okay though. Don't. Yeah, I feel like doing art is. It's like doing art sucks, but also it's great, and also I need to do it right now, but I also can't do it right now because art is not flowing. But if I didn't do art right now, I'm gonna die. So we're
Yeah.
gonna do art anyway, right? And I feel like the hardest part of the art sometimes is getting over the fact that sometimes your shit's just gonna suck, and it's okay.
Mhm.
And being okay with it being bad is kind of part of the process of making art.
And
Love that.
sometimes the thing that you think of your own art is being crap is other people's
Yes.
favorite.
Absolutely, yes. I always I literally had that happen with a friend that was like, they were like, "Oh, I love this emote. It's my favorite." And I was like, "Oh, this is like my least favorite thing I ever made." But I'm so glad genuinely that you like it. You never know what vibes with other people.
So on that note, I have a question. This was one of the questions we ended up not using, but we went through.
Yeah.
What was the most difficult piece of art that you've ever done, if you don't mind sharing?
Difficult, like technically, or difficult emotionally?
I think I'll let you interpret it however you want and choose whichever one you prefer to share.
Yeah, you can just pick one answer. That's okay.
There was an assignment when I went to art school, by the way, surprising nobody. There was an assignment in our drawing class where we had gigantic, I mean, like wall-sized pieces of paper.
Mhm.
That the style of paper that we were using was very toothy, and it was like cotton. It was like a cotton paper.
Mhm.
And then we were using charcoal for this, and the assignment was we had to draw a close-up of a randomly assigned flower or fruit, but it had to be like a close-up, like almost like doing like a microscope drawing,
Mhm. Yeah.
Mhm.
but like
Still
blown
life,
up,
right?
huge, and with charcoal. And the issue with this type of paper is that because of the texture, because of the tooth to it,
Mhm.
it was like almost impossible to fully erase.
Mhm.
So
Mm.
my assignment was a dahlia flower,
Mhm.
and the photograph for it was like a close-up of like the center of it, right?
Mhm.
And it took me so long, and basically like all of the drawing kids, right? The papers were so big that we had to do all of this, like they were taped around the walls of the hallway, right? This is just what the class was doing, and we were out in the hallways with the papers on the wall, like drawing this. I think it was like several times bigger than us.
Mhm.
And I think that's probably been like one of the most challenging pieces that I had to do, but it was really
Yeah.
satisfying, and like I really am happy with the way that it turned out. I have no idea what happened to it. I don't know where it is anymore.
Yeah.
But it was a really cool experience because I've always been like a tiny sketchbook kind of person, small
Yeah.
canvas, you know. My lines are tiny and my handwriting is tiny, and sense of scale is something I struggle with.
Yeah.
So this was like a huge undertaking, and the fact that you couldn't really like erase that well also just made it worse, right?
Yeah.
But
can
I
relate
ended
that.
up liking it. It was a cool assignment that kicked my ass, and I'm glad that I got it done.
I love it.
Yeah.
I was actually gonna say this. BT just deletes it if he doesn't like it. That's another tip. If you don't like it,
Valid.
you just delete it and start over.
If it sucks, hit the bricks.
Yeah. Toss it. Start from scratch. It's fine. Of course, that's BT's first comment in chat today. Was I delete
Priorities.
Oh, I love that. Stormy, I think you have the next question.
I do. Okay. Wheelie F asks, similar to Cozy's question, as someone who can't draw to save their life, what are some tried and true methods for getting better?
Well, I'm getting better. Well, I always think about drawing as like it's a hand-eye coordination thing, but the thing that makes people struggle to draw, I think, is that your brain auto-completes shapes for you. That's why when you're a kid, when you see like a kid drawing, you see like the sky is like a line that's like blue on the top, and the house always looks like a square, even though most houses don't look like that. But it like your brain will simplify the shapes as much as it can. And as you're an adult, when you try to copy things, the more experience you have copying things and like looking at things, like drawing is like a looking art.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why a lot of folks, when they start drawing, they do grids. Like they have like a photograph, and then they grid the photograph, and then they grid the paper, and they sort of like having those grids makes the spacing of things so much easier.
Yeah.
Because you're avoiding your brain tricking you into simplifying shapes for you, right? So if there's a way that you would enjoy trying to see what, like, delete the autocomplete that your brain is doing, and like do your best to actually look at things and draw them, even if they feel like they're weird, they're probably okay anyway. Like your brain is just trying to like tell you that that's not what it looks like.
Yeah.
Like draw the wobbly shape, draw the wobbly line if the wobbly line is there. Don't feel the need to smooth it out if you don't want to. You're probably looking at it correctly, and your hand knows what to do, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
I like that. That's cool. Dagoth. Oh, Small Snow is also a fellow bone collector. Oh, I think I have a new best friend as well. Look at that. We're friends now. You're adopted. Actual real question from Epsions. I suffer from arthritis in both of my hands, and it causes me to step away from drawing. Are there any new ways of drawing that I could try?
Ooh, it depends on what kind of pain you're suffering from and what it's doing to your hands. But I have a friend that has essential tremors, and he was always like, I can't draw, my hand just like shakes too much. And he would show me like look at this, and it would be like very like wiggly, 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 wiggly. And I'll be like, there, depending on what you need, right? I know at least Procreate, I think Photoshop is getting up to date with this too, but a lot of digital drawing stuff these days have really, really good stabilizing software. And you can draw smooth lines, even like you can have it so that you're completely shaking and you can still have a perfect circle, right? Depending on how you set it up. So if that's your problem, that's something you can try. Or if holding the pen is like if the pinch grip is painful, getting a grip for your pen, trying holding it different ways. I don't know, it's kind of different for everybody. I struggled drawing for a while for different reasons, right? But I started doing embroidery instead of drawing, because I found that embroidery was a way for me. Basically, like I was drawing with the thread, but I was drawing very, very slowly, which gave my brain and my hands time to catch up with each other. And I found that was a nice way to still be able to do that creative. Like I need to be creative when I can't. And embroidery was good. Sand drawing also, if you have like I don't know if you ever see, there's an artist on Twitch that does sand drawing, and it's like a backlit table, and she like basically moves the sand around with her hands and makes drawings that way, right? So you're using your whole hand and you're not doing any pinch movements or anything like that. Maybe that's something you can try.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. There's definitely options out there that don't involve pen and paper. I believe in you.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Alpine Smith asks, what draws you to medieval drawing styles?
Oh, I have no idea, actually. I think there's something about it that feels like home, but I can't really pinpoint what it is, honestly. A lot of my early artistic inspiration comes from like Disney backgrounds, like Aristocats. And like Sleeping Beauty has a lot of like hand painted gouache, like forests and stuff.
Right.
But I feel like the medieval stuff in general is pretty new for me, and I don't really know why it happened, except that I find it weirdly comforting, and I don't really know why.
I love it.
Yeah.
I get it.
I do too.
So good. Um, what do you recommend for someone who struggles with artist block?
Oh, same thing. I think gathering. Okay, listen. I know this is stupid, but Pinterest. Pinterest is so dope when your brain feels like a dry sponge. Like go if you're struggling with artist block because you're not feeling inspiration. I find that Pinterest is so nice to just like have boards, and the recommendation like algorithm is really good at giving you things that you are finding good, right? So if you like
Yeah.
start making boards with specific styles that make you happy, or with animals that you want to draw, examples of art that you want to emulate, right? People to study, like there's so many options there. I definitely recommend, if that's the problem, if it's like an inspiration problem, then Pinterest is dope.
Yeah.
If it's an everything I make is shit problem, that's harder to fix.
Yes.
But I have gotten out of it by switching mediums before. But it's always sort of like it's different, right?
Yeah.
But the embroidery thing was that for me. Like, I started doing fiber arts because I was like physically unable to draw at that point. Like, I hated everything I made. I never wanted to touch art again. And I spent years without ever drawing anything on a tablet or anything, like 5 years.
Right.
Yep.
And I just started doing other things. And like, you're an artist. You'll always be an artist. It is going to come back to you. Like, have no fear. That's not going anywhere, right?
Yep.
That's true.
But people go through stages where the things that they make are just not making them happy. And it could be for any reason. Like, it could be life burnout, or it could be that your brain got more skilled than your hands. And everything in your hands makes you unhappy, which is totally valid. But I found that switching mediums was helpful for that.
Yep.
Right on.
I've watched my husband just lose his mind over like not having the inspiration for something.
It sucks, dude. It sucks.
Yeah.
Why is everything gray and sad? Nothing makes me happy. Where and then I ran into medieval art, and now I'm here, right?
Yeah, he does the Pinterest thing too, even though he does mostly abstract and stuff like that. It is fascinating to watch that. Like, I love this. This is super cool. I'm inspired. No, what is happening? I hate this. I'm not even gonna clear off. I'm not even gonna declutter my art table. Oh, I've been inspired again. Somebody described themselves in 3 colors, and this is how I'm feeling great. It's a wild,
the dreaded Sisyphus cycle of making art.
Yep. It is fascinating to watch. So if your partner is an artist, they're going to do that all of the time, and you just have to be there and support them.
Yep.
And remind them that Pinterest exists.
That's right.
Yep.
Go on Pinterest.
I love this next question. It's a funny one. I'm going to actually answer with the third option that Epsilons did not offer. But I'm going to let, of course, Rhubarb answer the question directly. The question is, what's worse, stepping on Legos or Hot Wheels? And I will answer that with actually Dungeons and Dragons D4s. But since that wasn't part of his question, what do you think? No,
you're right, though. You are correct. That the third secret option is correct. I think I would say Legos probably hurt more, because at least Hot Wheels have vaguely shaped, like, softer edges, right? Like, you could make the excuse that it's kind of like arched like a foot too. Like, if you step on it, unless you fall and like, you know, hurt yourself in other ways, the actual physical stepping of the Lego,
right,
that's gonna be worse. I
think. Or
if
you step on a Batmobile, that might be worse.
Oof. Right. It depends on how many spikies, how many spoilers does the car have.
Yep.
Ugh.
All right. Some great questions today. Thank you guys so much. Have things muted? Did things mute for a little while for anybody? Or is that just
Nomi was watching us muted. Just popped in. Yeah. We are not muted.
Small Snow says, have you considered just shuffling feet to avoid Lego landmines? That's good.
Oh, that's just the ADHD walk. Yeah, I got it.
You want this question from Alex there, Druid?
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
He asks, when will you be streaming Age of Empires 2 on StreamStram?
Oh, I'm not good at that game. I don't feel really confident streaming it. I I got some friends into Age of Empires again after a while, and they were like, "Oh, this is still a thing," and it's like, yeah. And now I just enjoy watching their streams, but I am not an RTS god.
Me either.
And as much as I like watching people be really good at stuff, I don't know if I would have the confidence to stream it on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, friend.
So I think we're getting close to the wrap up of the show, but we can still entertain 2 or 3 more questions. Do you have any questions?
I actually have
us?
a question.
Oh, let Druid ask her a question, and then Rhubarb, you got the floor.
Okay.
So one of the things that gets me sucked in to your streams is your we're gonna watch Korean street food.
Yes.
During ad breaks.
Right.
How did you get there? Like, what was like, where did you get that idea from? Because it's genius.
It is.
I think it's great.
Yeah. Well, whenever I used to do art streams, like I need to be doing 5 things at the same time, or nothing's getting done, right? So when I'm drawing, I always have videos up.
Mm-hmm.
So at some point, I was like, well, if I'm gonna watch videos, y'all can watch videos with me, and then we'll just watch like bread being made or whatever. And then at some point I switched to doing like the 3-minute breaks in between so that folks didn't have ads in between, like unscheduled ads basically.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's easier for folks that way, and then we can, nobody misses anything if you have an ad.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, what can we do? Oh, we'll just continue watching the cooking because it's fine. And then sometimes we just get distracted. And then, we've been here for 25 minutes. Time to get back into the game for another like 20 before we have to come back and watch more food. But that's how that started. Yeah.
I love that. I think that is so wonderful, and it's just great. I appreciate it. 10 out of 10. Like, it's so fun. I used to before I got re-addicted to watching live trials, I would like watch like just the Korean street food making like the hard toffee candies.
Ooh, yeah. Those are
so good.
It's so satisfying.
So good. I love it. So thank you for indulging that.
Of course.
So now, Rhubarb, do you have any questions for us before we wrap up for today?
Just out of curiosity, is there any food that you would like to try that you haven't tried yet, or maybe learn to make that you haven't made yet?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Speaking of food.
I really want to get into sourdough bread making.
Ooh, yes.
Because I like overcomplicated things like that. And then I'm like, well, if I'm going to be fermenting and doing that kind of stuff, I might as well also learn how to make my own kombucha. So those are 2 things that I would absolutely love to learn how to make.
Dope.
Yeah.
Man,
because I love kombucha.
That's tough for me. It's one of those things where the first part of your question, it's hard for me to answer because I feel like I know there's food out there that I haven't tried, but I don't necessarily know what I haven't tried because I haven't heard of it, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I think probably maybe some sort of, I'm sure there's some some unique South American food varieties that I haven't tried that I would like to, like Brazilian food or something. I'm sure there's something really out there, or some as far as being able to make. Oh man. I would love to be able to honestly, I haven't done it yet, but yeah, like BT Banana Tom has an Indian curry recipe that doesn't use cumin, and since I'm
Ooh.
allergic to cumin, that's perfect. I need to try making
Gotcha.
that sometime. So
Yeah. Absolutely, friend.
Mm. Yep. 8 hours. Get in that kitchen, BT. We're coming.
Yep.
Showing
Yep.
up
So
eventually.
I want to I just want to say that what a treat it's been to have you on the show today, Rhubarb. Like I've said before, your streams are like a warm blanket to me. You know, just
Thank you,
your
friend.
voice is so inviting and comforting, and you were born for this. So you keep doing it, and we will keep supporting you.
Oh, thank you so much, for real. Thank you for
You're
having
welcome.
me. Thank you for the kind invitation. I feel very privileged to be here.
Absolutely.
Thank
It
you,
was
friends.
an honor to have you. We are the privileged ones. Guys, go support her. Go click on the links and give her all your biddies and subs and follows that you can. It's a must. It's a must do.
It is an absolute must.
Mhm.
Here we go.
All right. So we're going to wrap up the show. Thanks again, Rhubarb. Please stick around for a little bit and we'll talk after.
Mm-hmm.
So this is that bittersweet moment at the end, right? Where it was so wonderful, but now I'm like, it went so fast.
I know, it's awful. I hate that it has to end.
She's amazing. I know. And
her and I are also, we never got to talk about how her and I are birthday buddies. I forgot.
Oh wow! Oh my goodness! I wish you'd. I would have. Oh well. We'll save that for the future, right?
Yeah, we'll talk about it because
right. Okay. So Druid, remind me who we have on for next week.
It is Razzmatazz.
Oh yeah, Razzmatazz.
Yep.
He's gonna be fun. He's
Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. His primary thing actually is he's a game master for Cyberpunk, actually.
Yes.
Cyberpunk, the actual TTRPG version of Cyberpunk. So that's going to be really cool. Looking forward to picking his brain. He also has his own podcast where they talk about gaming topics. So that will be a unique show. Stuff. You guys got to come check us out.
Yeah.
And with that, Druid, do you have anything else you want to add before we wrap for tonight?
Love you guys. Thank you for being here.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Agreed. Thank you. And there we go. Let's start it off just like that. Thank you for coming to the show.
Please drop a like, subscribe, and comment down below.
If you're listening to the podcast,
please rate and review the episode.
We are Bandwidth
and Banter.
Thank you.
And good night.